So, what is your reaction when people start getting knocked off after the mafia is angered by what happened in the movie?
Fear. Fear.
Do you remember like the first
Fear.
time you
It's the
heard
only word I can hear.
that something was going on with it?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Oh yeah. First time we heard was when. Yeah. First time we heard was when all this shit happened. As soon as the movie opened up, there was fucking a bunch of shit talking on the street. Especially the younger cast of I say younger, but like in their 20s and 30s, that was still on the street. Were like, fuck that bullshit. That's not true. And it went on the news that there was like little riots, and then the letters, and then the fact that Joe Morgan had sent the hit on. They put a green light on Eddie almost straight off. At that moment, I was doing some talks and shit. We were at the juvenile hall. Jesse Jackson was with us. I'll never forget that day. We were at the juvenile hall to do like a stop the violence type shit. This was right after the Rodney King shit, you know? And we go to juvenile hall and we're doing a speech, and the warden or whatever they call him over there came and whispered something to Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson had this look in his eyes. He had big eyes to begin with, Bernie Mac type shit, and they got even bigger. And he pulled Eddie aside, and all of a sudden we cut the interview short. And he said, "We gotta go." I'm like, okay, so we left, and one thing led to another, and then the one that hit me the most, I know that the first one that was killed was a guy named Charlie Brown, I think, who was one of the Mexican soldiers for the Mexican mafia, retired, but he was a technical advisor. The one that got me the most, that really hurt to this day, was the young, well, I was a young lady, but the lady that played the grandmother. Her name was Ana Lizagara. Anna was she was a social worker, anti-gang. She worked with the youth to keep them out of gangs, but she was Mexican mafia. She back in her day, her family was infiltrated with the mafia, and she was the one that actually, did a lot of the technical advisory as far as with the drug scenes and how this happened and blah, 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 authenticized it, so to speak, and gave us a lot of, real stuff during the script writing too that happened. When they got her, she was going to. There's stories about that she came shopping and she was going to a wedding. From what I understand, she was going to her mother's funeral. So she was packing her car, and they sent these two guys that had just come out of prison. Their job was, they were on parole. Their job was to clean up the show and go back. So they went in the middle of the night when she was getting ready to go to her, I would say middle of the night, whatever. And they fucking unloaded two 245s on her, in
Wow.
front of her house, in front of their grandkids. That would hurt me the most because Anna and I became really good friends. And she was part of the film. She played the grandmother in the movie, the older lady. That you see when they find the kid in the bathtub jumped out.
Yeah.
That's another true story. The whole thing with the Italians was another true story. Shit like that they didn't want. Certain things they didn't want to be known, which is understandable because Cosa Nostra type shit. But what did they expect him to to glorify all that shit? That's where the ignorance came in. But there was fear, bro. I was scared for a while. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I got letters. Dude, I was playing with Cypress Hill.
You received direct letters saying that you're
Yeah, through SAG and through my agents. I never got into my house because nobody knew where I lived. But my agents, Screen Actors Guild, and then just publicly through Universal Studios, through Edward Olmos, through whatever.
what
I got to the point I was living.
what exactly did the letter say?
Watch your back. We're coming after you.
Wow.
Shit like that. I won't go into specifics,
Right.
but pretty much that's it. You know.
Did you ever have
And like I said,
did you ever have any conversations with Edward about the situation?
oh yeah, plenty of them. Plenty. He used to tell me this was I was living in Santa Ana in Orange County with my girl, and there was this big thing. Can't remember what park it was at, and it was a big like a truce type of thing with the gangs in Santa Ana in Orange County, and Victory Outreach and all that stuff. And I was a special guest, and I was with Cypress Hill at the time, and my man Steve Oriol, who's Joker, the LA Originals, one of the geniuses of LA. At the time was working with Cypress, with House of Pain, from Doobies, blah, blah. And I called him and I said, listen, I got to do this thing in Santa Ana. I need some people with me. He's like, got you, homie. So he came down with a bunch of the homeboys from Cypress, the real homeboys, and they were in my house the day of. And my cell phones were just barely coming out. And I was in my house, and I get a call from Momos, and he says, "Hey, you're supposed to do this thing tomorrow." I see. Kid Frost was supposed to be there too. Frost never showed up. It was like an event, right? So he goes, "Don't go." I said, "Well, I'm already committed. It's a church thing for these guys. I'm Catholic, but I hope." He goes, "Don't go." I said, "Okay." He goes, "You know what's going on?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "It's not a good idea for you to go." I said, "Cool." So I called Steve and I said, "Yo, Steve, what do you think?" And he goes, "Vamos says don't go, homie, don't go." And I've heard some shit on the street even in LA. He goes, "Fuck it, it ain't worth it. Let's not do shit." He goes, "Come on, get in the car, we'll go to fucking LA and we'll play." I wanted to fucking hanging out with Ralph and the Mexican and Julio and Tony G, the guy that we saw up in Metal Man's thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you weren't. I don't think you were there when Tony was performing. All the K Day guys, and we wanted to just jamming. Well, come to find out, that afternoon on the news, a big old fucking shootout. The truce went out the window. It was fucking, a few people died and blah blah blah. So at that moment, I said, I ain't doing shit no more. I'm not going nowhere. I'm relaxing. And when our agent called me for an audition, I go, make sure it's a real one.
Right.
Because
Wow,
you
man.
never know. So I laid low for a while, and then right after that, it was when maybe that Arca came through. But yeah, man, let me tell you, High Line it was not touch and go. I wasn't. I'm not a punk, but nigga, you threaten my life, my ass is staying right the fuck where I'm at. I'm not
Right.
gonna take no damn chance. You know.